Season 2, episode 36, the 5th of our AFCON month. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Anglo-Italian pod. My name is Tommaso and I'm joined by my good friend...
As always, I'm Rory. Welcome to the show, guys. Another weekend done. AFCON knockout football, Premier League weekend, Serie A weekend. There's so much to talk about. I'm pretty excited. I've got Comoros Cameroon on a mini screen as we're here. Comoros battling bravely with an outfield player. We're going to get onto it. But Tommy, how are you?
They're only playing with one outfield player. It's 11 versus one outfield player. With an outfield player in goal, exactly.
An outfield player in goal. There we go.
Guys, we apologize. We apparently are live only on YouTube. There is a strange banner that popped up, and we wish we had the technological expertise to know what the fuck is going on. But apparently our stream cannot stream on Twitch. Well, never mind. Just come over to YouTube. We are here. Our friend Adam from The Hopeless Wanderer, as always, says, evening, guys. Evening, Adam. Rory, before we delve into our footballing weekend, how are you doing?
I am pretty good. You know why? Because there are many perks to living in Italy, Tommy. One of them is the TFR. Is it TFR?
Oh, yeah.
That is, every so often the Italian government just gives you a little bit of money. They give you a 13th wage at Christmas. When you leave a job, they give you a little bit of money. Hence why I'm now repping this bad boy. And I treated myself to the Norway away kit. So I have spent all my TFR on football shirts. But it means I've been living like a pretty modest P. Diddy. But I've been feeling pretty good. Letting the money fly. So at the moment, I'm doing all right. What about you, Tommy?
I love the pretty modest P. Diddy. I'm doing well. Well, on yesterday morning, I decided to do something that for me was pretty big because I hadn't done it in a long time. But I shaved my stash.
You have?
Only to find out that nobody ever fucking considered my stash as iconic as I thought it was. So yesterday, I just saw a bunch of people and everybody was just like, hey, man, how you doing? Yeah, great. Pull out the mask, just like, what up? And they're just like, no, great. Yeah, everything fine. And I'm just like, you don't notice anything. And I thought my stash was iconic. Turns out, I don't know. People didn't even notice it. And
I'm not just saying this, but I thought there's something different about Tommy, and I just couldn't figure out what it was. I was
finally, I realized what women feel when they get a new haircut and nobody comments on it. I was just literally deep down. I was fuming. I was just like, guys, the stash. It's like a symbol of my masculinity, and for some reason, it just affected my mood. No, I'm joking. I just wanted to feel a little fresh in the face. And Rory, talking about football kits, I think that you might have to go for the Bohemians Deli Moon, for the Bohemians in the Irish side.
Yes.
Not many people know that Bob Marley's last concert was at the Bohemians Dalymount Park Stadium, and they've dedicated their new kit. I'm going to show you a picture over here.
It is an absolute banger. It's an absolute banger. That's like the second Bob Marley inspired kit this season. That guy, I know he did love his football, right? He absolutely loved his football, and apparently was a decent player. So it's good that there's a few clubs paying tribute to him, and an Irish club definitely helps. The fact it's an Irish club.
And they've teamed up. The other cool thing is that they've actually teamed up with Bob Marley's family. So everybody agrees that it's a good idea, and it's beautiful to see, especially for a reggae fan like myself. We are going to talk everything AFCON related. The round of 16 has started. There have been already at least one big upset, and tonight we hope that there will be another one as Comoros, while we're recording live, take on the hosts of the tournament, Cameroon. They're currently at the 4th minute of the first half. Rory has got the game in front of him. I don't. Rory, please keep us updated whenever a goal
most
goes in.
Definitely will. We can talk over each other. I most definitely will.
That was beautiful. Of course, we're going to review everything AFCON related. We're going to take a sneak peek at the games that are going to be played this week in the round of 16. We're going to take a look at the quarterfinals that are starting to shape up. And then, of course, we're going to jump all the way back to England to cover what happened in this Premier League weekend of football, and also in Italy as Inter Milan slowly but surely create a big gap between them and whoever is chasing. So, Rory, let's start from yesterday. 2 games were on for the round of 16 of the AFCON tournament, Africa Cup of Nations, of course. The first one was Burkina Faso, Gabon, that saw the formers snatch it at the penalty shootout, and then big upset. Our friend Dean Emmy is probably not happy about this one. Tunisia, whom he said have no chance to advance, and they beat Nigeria, which were some of our favorites. And today, before we review all the games, Musa Baro's Gambia come out winners against Guinea thanks to a great Musa Baro goal. And as we're speaking, Cameroon and Comoros is unfolding. Rory, take us through the action.
Well, it feels like a lifetime ago, all these games. I've been sat all day watching highlights and trying to find some analysis on AFCON, right? Trying to find some tactical breakdowns, some people talking about it. It's quite difficult, but I have managed to find the channel. Now, this may not be legal, guys, so whisper it. But I found the channel Supersport, which I think is based in South Africa, and their analysis has been absolutely incredible. So I've been trying to get their streams for most of the games. But we're going to start with Burkina Faso taking on Gabon in a game that was absolute chaos. So the referee had an interesting performance, to say the least. Over the course of the game, he gave 16 cards out, so 15 yellows and a red card. And from the first minute, it was very much clear of what he was going to be like. Very much the kind of, I think he was Moroccan, the Moroccan Mike Dean, definitely trying to make it all about himself. Any fouls, any contact was given, and most were given as yellow cards. But the game started off where he gave a really, really soft penalty to Burkina Faso. So the Gabonese defender, Obissa, he kind of put his hand on his shoulder as the winger was getting past him. There was the slightest of touches. The winger went down. The ref gave a penalty and a yellow card. So that's Obissa's first booking, right? Burkina Faso, like the players go mad. Burkina Faso finally step up. Traore steps up to take the penalty, but it's saved. A great save. Another kind of good goalkeeping performance here. And then from there, the game was kind of just really open. 2 teams just attacking, going for it. Very little tactics, just kind of vibes. And yeah, I was all about
it. I think you were mistaking the penalty. I think this one was the one that hit the crossbar, yeah?
Was that? Oh, maybe that was the one.
And that was
a lot of penalties yesterday, guys. Forgive me.
I was going to say, thank God there was a crossbar on that instance, because otherwise it would have killed probably one of the people who were watching in the stands. So thank God there was a crossbar right there in that moment.
He did absolutely put his foot through it. You're right. There was a lot of penalties yesterday. There was a few of us saved and over the bar. But from then, the game was just wide open. Both teams going for it. And then the goal, Burkina Faso, Traore. I have never seen him looking this impressive in the Premier League. And I think he's really kind of like, because he's such a key man for Burkina Faso, he's a bit of the focal point. You've seen him with kind of the shackles off a little bit. The pass from Ouattara that got him for the assist was absolutely inch perfect. But Traore still had quite a bit of work to do, had to shift the ball onto his foot and just stroke it past the goalkeeper into the bottom left corner. It just kissed the post as it went in. Beautiful finish. And then from there, you thought, okay, Burkina Faso will probably see this out now. And then there was a red card. So Abissa is sent off for a very, very soft yellow again. I think this referee was definitely trying to make it all about himself. And then it's the game from there is about Burkina Faso trying to see the game out. Gabon actually have a few chances, still have a lot of counterattacks. Alavina for them and Bupenza, two players who really have stood out this tournament. Bupenza especially. He actually had a goal disallowed for being offside. And weirdly, he was in his own half. When they showed it back, he was in his own half when the ball was passed. And it was him and an open field. Like, there was no one there. He was just ready to go one-on-one on goal. They called it offside. I don't think... they got it wrong. And it could have been a massive moment in the game. Someone's just been sent off. Comoros have had someone sent off.
Oh, no. Is it the fake goalkeeper? Tell us everything, Rory. What's going on?
All I'm seeing is a lot of players arguing. I'll keep one eye on it, guys.
It's Najim Abdou that has been sent off. He's a center back for Gabon, and people are going mad. Any fists?
No, not yet. But there's like 10 players around the ref. I think my stream is a little bit slow, but I'll keep one eye on it. Abdu's been sent off, and he's not particularly happy about it. They are really Comoros. This is an uphill battle for them. Jesus.
But we are gonna get there.
That is shootout. He's just caught his ankle. It's from behind. His kind of studs have run down the back of his leg. I think it's a yellow, maybe. I think straight red is a bit harsh.
At the 7th minute, yeah, probably pretty harsh. But it all went down to penalty shootouts in Burkina Faso, Gabon, and this was madness, right?
It was absolute chaos. So there was I got completely distracted. There was a 91st minute equalizer from Gabon when they were down to 10 men from a corner, own goal from Guida, and then extra time, as people who follow our Twitter will know, I had to walk the dog. So I walked the dog incredibly quickly and then came back just in time to catch the penalties. In true AFCON style, it went to sudden death. It was 7-6. But the whole headline moment is the Burkina Faso goalkeeper, I think it's Kofi, doing the front flips the second the penalty's missed. Does about 7 front flips and then a double flip. It just unbelievable as the Burkina Faso players go mad. It was just a really great penalty shootout. I think 3 penalties were saved, 2 smashed over the crossbar. There was just and then some really good penalties. I remember one, the goalkeeper got his hand to it, but it still went into the top corner. Just absolute scenes and just what you expect from an AFCON penalty shootout.
Exactly. I just pressed on a little button. You guys should still be alive here. Good. So we don't get the banner that we're not streaming on Twitch. Roy, what do you think is the problem? Is it because we swear? Is it because I'm not rocking my stash anymore? Why were we banned from Twitch tonight?
Maybe it's the mustache. I don't know. It came up in Italian and I don't have the time to read it. So there we go.
Rory, takeaways for Gabon, who were eliminated from this AFCON in brutal style.
Yeah, I feel like there really was a battling performance to play for 30 minutes and then another 30 minutes with 10 men, keep the score, not only equalize, but keep the score level. Like, really a brave, strong performance from Gabon, especially we've talked about it a few times, but just the absolute mess that is happening with that team, with the FA, with everything around that, for that squad to still come together, get through the group stages and be one of these stories of the tournament is incredible. Like, it's now come out, I think I said it last pod, that Aubameyang and Lamina basically were out getting drunk. There's like child abuse scandals within the FA in Gabon, like the players demanding bonuses. It is an absolute mess. So for this squad to stand up and put in these performances, you have to like applaud them and be like, at least the Gabonese fans can be proud of their team, if not exactly proud of their FA. So I think it's a really beautiful story for Burkina Faso. They're going to be a pain in the arse for anyone who comes up against them, because Traore looks genuinely in great form, and some of their midfielders, again, Ouattara, I was really impressed by. Really impressed.
We will find out who's the bigger pain in the ass, them or Tunisia. They are going to face off come January 29th. Today is the 24th, so quick math, that should be Saturday, probably. Yeah, did I say it right? It's Saturday at 8 p.m. Central European time. Let's go. Mathematics. That's me, baby. The Burkina Faso are going to take on Tunisia, who in incredible style, eliminate one of the tournament's favorites, or at least for the Anglo-Italian pod known for wrong predictions, Nigeria. 1-0, and the Tunisians advance. Our Algerian friend Dean Emmy said they wouldn't have a chance, but now it's looking like the game against Burkina Faso is going to be pretty balanced. And then, you win that one, and whoops, you're in the semifinals. So we shall see. This game was very closely contested. Could we say, Rory, that Nigeria's goalkeeper, Okoye, has more than a little bit of responsibility on the final result?
That was a bad mistake, wasn't it? I think there's a lot of Nigerians waking up very angry with him. But before we go into it, I like to pat myself on the back. I said it at the end of the last show, guys. Tunisia are a dark horse. They're going to be a pain in the arse for people. And they just knocked out the tournament favourites. So I'm giving myself a pat on the back because I finally got one. But
despite losing the last game in the group stage to the Gambia.
I thought they'd scored so many goals in there. I think they won 4-0. They'd won by 2 or 3, won by 2 in the first game, maybe.
Well, they only won one game, actually. Yeah, they won the game against Mauritania 4-0. Yeah,
I thought I'd seen enough from them that I thought they could definitely cause problems. I did not expect them to knock out Nigeria. I will be honest, but yes, for the goal, that was a kind of speculative shot. The guy who hit it again shifted it onto his foot really beautifully. And I think the ball just bounces in front of the keeper. Being kind to him, I think it just bounces, but he should be doing better. And the first thing he did was stand up and shout at his defenders for not shutting the midfielder down, which is classic goalkeeper antics. But I think he also does have a point. That midfielder should have been closed down a lot quicker. His name escapes me now.
I agree with you. His name is Nsakri. It's very difficult to pronounce. Nsakri. What I want to say about the goalkeeping, yes, there is a little bounce right in front of him, which makes it all the more complicated. But the guy is already diving with one hand only. And that is the kind of shot where you kind of want to go with your two strong hands. And either you're going to stop it, either you're going to block it, or you're going to punch it away. Just go with two hands. He goes in with his weak left hand, I want to say, and the ball kind of bounces in. And when I saw the play, I didn't think it would be a goal. But then, next thing you know, it's on the back of the net, and Tunisia take the lead. However, Rory, do you agree that Nigeria didn't have that bad of a game?
Yeah, I think they weren't as bad as the scoreline suggests. Even though it's only 1-0, I think Nigeria could come away from it thinking we really should have scored. We created the chances. But I think this was won by Tunisia's defensive performance. This was won by the tactics. The Tunisian manager got it really right. He knew that anything that Nigeria created was going to come through the wings. It was going to come through Simon and the way that Nigeria play so wide, right? And all he did was he just put two players, the wing back and the midfielder, every time he got the ball, either of the wingers, they were both there. And what the Nigerian manager didn't do, well, what he should have done is he should have got his wing backs to support, but he was afraid of getting caught out. So he never let the wing backs push on. It just caused a 2-on-1 every single time, and they could not influence the game. I think it was Simon had one shot throughout the game. He really didn't get much. Nigeria didn't have a shot on target in the first half. I think a draw would have been fairer, but Tunisia, you have to take your hats off and say, well done. They defended so well, kept Nigeria at arm's length. And then Nigeria shot themselves in the foot massively, namely through Alex Iwobi, who has been watching Thomas Partey, I think. So he's brought on, and within 2 minutes is sent off for a stamp. How would you describe it, Tommy?
Like a bad foul.
At first I thought it wasn't, and then you watch it and you're like,
upon rewatching it, when you see the replay, I was just like, that's a soft yellow. What happened there? And then you rewatch the replay and you're like, he's gonna change his mind and give him a red. Look, it's just like studs on the shin, really, and that hurts. And it's nowhere near the ball. And that's a red card, always. When you go studs down like that on a player, that's just a red card. But I wanted to tell you, Rory, before we respond to our friend Adam from the Hopeless Wanderer podcast, a player that really stood out for me from Nigeria was Ndidi. Not only did he save a Tunisian shot on the line, with an incredible spin move, incredible reflexes, but for the rest of the game, it really felt like Nigeria were always kind of converging towards the middle, towards Ndidi. to sort of try and create plays, meaningful plays on the wings. So his distribution was very good. He played overall a very good game, but Nigeria were not able to score a goal. And our friend Adam asks, do we feel the Nigeria togetherness played a part? It didn't feel like they had unity.
Yeah, I think in the build up to the tournament, they kind of knew that the manager wasn't who they wanted. It was an interim kind of thing. They're waiting for Jose Pesero to join up as their next manager, but now that's not certain. I think when you don't even have a coach that the players are behind, or the coach believe, or the players believe is going to be there long term, you're not going to be able to kind of get that squad unity. You're not going to be able to get that system inbuilt. And I feel like, as well as Nigeria did in the groups, and they did play some wonderful football, we were talking about and thinking, yeah, these guys are going to be the ones to stop. Teams figured out how to stop them. It was Simon, stop him, and you stop them. And I think, yeah, the lack of like inbuilt system was definitely exposed. When you compare that to Tunisia, who all the players knew exactly what they had to do. They knew they were there to defend and try and sneak one, and that's what they did. We saw the scenes within the Nigerian camp of like play fights that kind of weren't play fights, and the whole, like, I've been watching videos all day of Nigerians moaning about their FA and moaning about how the FA is being run. I think there's no unity, not just in the team, but in any part of Nigerian football at the moment. The fact that they've got players who are refusing to be called up, or like don't want to play, whatever it is, it doesn't really give the sign of like a happy camp, does it? And it's definitely not happy now.
Definitely not happy now. I wonder what Victor Osimhen is thinking over in Naples now that his beloved high-flying Eagles, Super
I
Eagles,
like that. Super Eagles,
are out of the tournament. Next fixture, then, the first fixture of the quarterfinals is going to be Burkina Faso taking on Tunisia. Wrong predictions only. Rory, final score.
Tunisia 2-1.
I say Tunisia 3, Burkina Faso 1.
Oh.
We shall see. Rory, how is the game
going?
Congratulations
on Burkina Faso on getting through to the next round.
Yeah, exactly. Congrats, guys. We've called it Cameroon-Comoros, still 0-0 at the 20th minute mark, but there was another game today, the winner of which was the Gambia that won 1-0 against Guinea, and they're going to face off either Comoros, we hope, or Cameroon in the quarterfinals. Now, this game goes by one name and one name only, Musa Baro, the guy who can shoot from any position. You put him with his back to goal, just standing, not even like running towards the ball backwards. And if he hits it with his heel touch, I'm pretty positive he can shoot on target. This guy is insane. His physical power is overwhelming. His sense of positioning is overwhelming. And the angle that he doesn't need to shoot is also overwhelming. The goal, of course, came from him. Omar Colley, another Serie A player for Sampdoria, also had a very good game with a crucial block that kept the result on the 1-0. Rory, what else can you tell us about this game?
This game took a while to come into life. The first half was a little bit dull, but there's so many fairy tale stories in this AFCON tournament. From when we were thinking, like, the first round of games, it was kind of the joke of like 0-0, 1-0, 1-0, 0-0. There's been a lot of narrative. There's been a lot of teams going through and making these great performances. And Gambia are definitely, next to Comoros, depending on how this game goes, are like the fairy tale of the tournament. This is their first ever AFCON. They've now reached the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
a great nickname. Great nickname, the Scorpions. This is their first ever AFCON. They are still unbeaten in the tournament, right? And throughout the group stage, what they did is play really conservative, kind of very counter-attacking, controlled, disciplined football. Because they were up against, in large, teams that they thought were superior to them, right? So they were like, right, we can't really take any risks. Let's be sensible. And they didn't. They got through, right? And they achieved this great thing. But now they came up against Guinea, a team that they judged to be their equals, and they played completely differently. They were able to play football. They were a lot more expansive. The players knew when to sit back and when to break. And this is all coming from their coach called Tom Semfier, I want to say. I think he's Belgian or French. And at this rate, he could be up there for manager of the tournament, like coach of the tournament. The way he's got this team really well drilled, They know exactly what their jobs are. And the beautiful thing is as well, they're all young players. Like Baro, Jallo, I want to say, what's his name? There's Yusafa, Bob, Janye, Collie, all these players, none of them are old. But they've got the right amount of like European experience dotted in there as well, that the players that maybe don't play in the top European leagues can kind of be improved by them. I think this coach has built a really good squad, and they're doing it by not just parking the bus. Like today, they genuinely tried to play football, and they played some great football.
And he's been in charge. He's been on the job for 3 years, and this career is just so interesting. Among other national teams in chronological order, he's coached Namibia, Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, Yemen, Malawi, Togo, Bangladesh, Trinidad and Tobago, Malta, and now the Gambia. I just would love to have a chat with this guy who knows that maybe he will be on our pod.
I will be sliding into his DMs tonight. I love that career. I would love that career. Just go around to these random countries coaching their national team. That would be amazing. Just think of all the things he's seen. What a life.
Bangladesh just stands out. The Bangladesh national team. I didn't know it existed either.
No, exactly.
But that's incredible. That's an incredible career. And one thing that I noticed was when the goal came, look, I know it sounds stupid, but whenever I see these managers, I'm just like, what is this Belgian dude doing coaching the Gambia? I always get suspicious. I'm just like, it's got to be only for the money and shit. But when they scored, the reaction of his assistant managers was beautiful. He just looks at them like with his fists like that, like we fucking got it. And they all like hug each other. And I was just like, nah, this guy is actually a nice person. And it feels like there is great atmosphere in the Gambian locker room.
He seems like a really friendly guy. He kind of looks like your uncle. I don't know. He's just this cool, chill, pretty like this guy. And I'm like really a big fan of him. He's doing an incredible job with Gambia. And now, as you said, depending on who comes through this, for them to get to the quarterfinals, they've now equaled Madagascar's run in the last tournament when they were debutants. So they've got a chance of overtaking that, again, depending who gets through. But the game towards the end, there was obviously, because it's AFCON, there was red cards. So Njie was sent off for Gambia. Both of these yellows I thought were pretty soft, but the ref decided red card. And then Conte for Guinea was sent off shortly afterwards. The second one was definitely just a stupid, kind of needless lack of discipline. Like, when the game's getting away from you, just a stupid foul. Second yellow, he's off. But by that point, the game was kind of gone. And Gambia just held on, and got the 1-0 win. It's incredible. Like, I genuinely was really, really impressed by them. And for them, as I've said it before, it's their first tournament. This is incredible. This AFCON, we've now had Ghana, Algeria, and Nigeria, 3 of the favourites, go out. And we've got Comoros in the knockouts. We've got Gambia in the knockouts. It's been a great tournament so far. What do you think?
Yeah, it's been great, and very bad luck, I just want to say, for Guinea in the dying minutes of the game. They hit the crossbar, the ball bounces back. No, they hit the post.
Yeah.
The ball bounces back. There is a great save from the Gambian goalkeeper, Gaye. It diverts the ball to the crossbar, and then on the ball bounces back, a player from Guinea gets it, but then there is a beautiful defensive play to deny it. They called for a hand touch, but if you look at the replay, for some reason, the guy got very, very lucky. He didn't mean to hit it with his arm, but the ball kind of bounces and literally goes all around his arm, but doesn't touch it. And the guy just celebrates as if it was a goal. Beautiful to see.
And that first post was definitely a cross as well. That was not a shot. That was a cross, and it just bounced off the post. It was like, oh shit, it took everyone by surprise, that one, I think.
And I think that Musa Baro is not going to live much longer in Serie A, because I think that some Premier League clubs are going to come and knock at Bologna's door this season and be like, hey, this guy would fit perfectly in our league. Please.
I'm really hoping that Arsenal can start using Bologna as a feeder club. We've taken Tomiyasu. He's been great. I'll take Barrow next. I might even take Orsolini. I do like him. But Barrow, please, Barrow.
They're trying to get rid of a few players, including Skovals, and Mihailovic was very outspoken in a press conference. He was just like, some players need to leave, including Skovals. And I was just like, oh shit, man, come on. Really like that? Dykes and Skovals, and they don't care about our project. They can leave. All right, man. Fine. So this game, Cameroon-Comoros, is still 0-0 at the 28th minute mark. But let's take a look at the games that we have in the upcoming games. I'm going to speak in Central European time. Rory, get ready for our favorite wrong predictions only.
I'm just adjusting my watch. There we go.
Senegal, Cape Verde tomorrow at 5 p.m.
That's going to be such a boring game. Senegal will nick it like by 1-0. Yeah,
1-0.
It'll be a terrible game.
I say that Senegal go through as well. Morocco, Malawi.
That's a difficult one. Malawi have really been quite impressive. Oh, I'm going to say Morocco go through. There has to be another upset, though. There has to be another upset.
On Wednesday, we've got Ivory Coast, Egypt. This one is one of the first big fixtures. Rory is calling it.
I'm backing my boys.
He's backing the elephant.
Nicolas Pepe knocks out Mohamed Salah and gets some kind of Arsenal revenge on Liverpool. Although that would give Liverpool Salah back quicker. I don't know if I want that.
Now, with an Inter bias, I hope that both Senegal and Egypt go as far as they can. So that they're fucking tired by the time that Liverpool have to play. And there is also, looking at the bracket, there is a chance that they meet in the final. So I'm rooting for a Senegal-Egypt final. However, I think it's very unlikely. Ivory Coast are one of the pod's favorites to win the tournament. So I'm going to say that Ivory Coast win quite comfortably against Egypt. And then we've got at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, Mali, Equatorial Guinea. I say Mali.
I think Mali have actually kind of gone under the radar. How impressive a group stage they had. I think they are like a very good team with the likes of Basuma. They've got some really good players. I think Mali should really get through that one.
And that means that on Thursday, there will be no AFCON games. And so we'll be able to finally record an episode that can be listened to for more than 30 minutes the next day, because the quarterfinal action starts on Saturday at 5 p.m. Central European time. We still have to see who is going to face the Gambia, whether Cameroon or Comoros. If you're listening to this on a Tuesday, you already know, bud. Good for you. But that's it. So Cameroon, 1-0. As we were wrapping everything up.
My feed is too slow.
It's a goal from Karl Toko Ekambi. It's the first goal. It's a right foot shot from the
dream's
middle of the
over, guys.
box.
The dream's over. In a few minutes, when my feed catches up, I will describe the goal to you in great detail, despite the fact that you'll be able to look at it on YouTube.
Beautiful. So this is, oh my God, this is already his third goal in the Ekambi's third goal in the competition this year. Wow. All right, so that's it with the Africa Cup of Nations. Of course, we are going to remind you, anybody who's tuning in for the first time, that last week on our Friday episode, we had a great interview with legend Sheriff Suma, former captain of Sierra Leone. It was a great interview despite the background noise, but I really appreciate what Rory did, which was leaving the little clip of the conversation that we had with the author of all the noises that you could hear in the background, Sheriff's son. We don't know the name, but it was very cute, and it was a pleasure to talk to him. Mark the name, because he apparently loves playing football too. So if one day you'll heard of a new Suma captaining the Sierra Leone national team, it might as well be Sheriff's son. Rory, any chance to see the goal yet?
He's just, the defenders are all over the place. And I think it goes underneath the keeper. That's not great at all. Oh, no, defenders nowhere to be seen. It can be in acres of space, and just slots it into the bottom left corner with his right foot. Comoros all over the place. That was a bit calamitous.
And Rory, before we move on to the Premier League and Serie A, we need to talk about something. You haven't informed our beautiful listeners of the little screenshot that you sent me about, big things happening, the course that you're following.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I've started it, guys, and it's actually pretty exciting. So I've started my the PFSA Level 2 Talent Identification and Scouting course, which I paid quite a bit of money for it, right? I finally saved up all my pennies and paid for it, and I was a little bit worried. I was like, am I just going to be paying for nothing? Is this going to be a complete waste of money? But then it's like a whole thing with like seminars and graded work, and like it's a proper like qualification. I was like, oh shit. So I'm starting this week. I've done the kind of preparation, and by the end of it, I should have a certificate, which means I'll be able to apply for scouting jobs, which kind of blows my mind a little bit. So wish me luck, guys. I know a lot of the work that you do get is unpaid, and it's all like, we'll give you exposure if you do this. But honestly, the idea of someone paying for me to go to football to watch it is just kind of blows my mind a little bit. So please wish me the best of luck. I might need it. The game that they've assigned me to scout is PSG Barcelona. I don't know what I'm going to have to do, but
what?
Spoiler alert, all of the players are good.
Wait, what PSG Barcelona game? Sorry.
There's a video of a match that you need to watch. I think they set you tasks.
Commentary. That Messi guy is pretty sick.
Just
he moves very quickly with the ball.
I really appreciate. Very good.
So this is pretty cool. There are pre-recorded videos of games that have already been played, and they tell you, okay, tell us what you see number 8 doing, and you kind of have to report what you see.
Yeah, you have to write like performance reports and how this player would fit into this system. Would he fit this manager more or this manager more? It's pretty cool. I was like, sat reading, and I was like, oh, I've never enjoyed studying this much, and actually, I'm really enjoying this.
Man, and I think that with that certificate in the end, you can do quite a few different things. Like you can start as a scout, but then also, work as assistant manager, maybe that type of stuff.
Well, there's plenty of people that like work their way up from scout. If Mourinho worked his way from translator, then from scout, maybe I can I'm going to deliver Arsenal their first ever Champions League. That's the aim, guys.
You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Or you might be the next coach of Bangladesh, much more likely.
I'll take it. I'll sign.
That could be. We're going to throw it back to another great episode that we had with Mr. Paul Watson from last season. The incredible story of this guy just drinking one too many beer with his best friend and thinking, come on, we must be able to play for like a very shitty national team. And then eventually they found themselves in Micronesia coaching their national team and taking them all the way to an international tournament. It's a beautiful story. And when he was recounting that, Rory was just like, I'm so freaking jealous. I want to do
it. Yes, correct. I've also warned the missus. I'm like, let's just a thought experiment. No matter where offers me a job, we're moving. Like, no matter where it is, we're going. As long as you know that.
And the very last thing, Rory, before we actually move on to the Premier League, after this nice little chat that we had, Joe Pitarelli says, hey, Rory, how are you doing? Who's Joe?
He's one of my old students.
What up, Joe?
Go to bed. What are you doing?
He's watching.
Hello. How are you, Joe? Good to hear from you. I hope you're good.
He's watching Cameroon Comoros, of course. But let's move on to the Premier League. Both the Italian League and the English League are going to take a long break, 2-week break. In Italy, we're going to come back with the Derby of Milan, but we're going to get there. But what was all the action about in jolly good England this weekend? I'm going to get some water, guys. Sorry.
Well, for a change, it's not like we barely ever talk about VAR. So let's talk about VAR. The whole weekend has been ruled by VAR decisions and people getting very angry. Trying to think about which one we should start with. We should probably start with the most egregious of the VAR events, which was Palace 1, Liverpool 3. The second goal. So the Liverpool scored within 8 minutes through Van Dijk from a corner. Then the second goal, Firmino was definitely offside and interfered in play, but for some reason it wasn't ruled as offside. 2-0. Palace grabbed one back, and they're really pushing. Edouard has so many chances. And then Liverpool receive a penalty to make it 3-1, which is what I really don't like is the direction that penalties are going in that strikers can buy penalties. If strikers make the first contact, it can still be a foul. And here, what happens is Jota kicks the ball out of play, basically loses control of the ball, but changes his direction to run into the Crystal Palace keeper and then gets a penalty. So he shifts his way into the keeper. The keeper doesn't, he's not hitting him, and they get a penalty, 3-1, game over. Now, what I think a lot of fans are annoyed about with VAR, now VAR isn't the issue, it's the people using VAR that are the issue. There are so many inconsistencies, whether it's how long an incident is looked at, depending on which club it is. Like, if that incident was between Brighton and Burnley, there's no way they're analysing that for so long. But for Liverpool, they did because it feels like they're looking for a reason to give a penalty, right? And I think it opens the door to more accusations of corruption or, favoritism towards the other teams. The bigger teams. I just think it opens up the door for that kind of speculation. And the same weekend, we had United scoring a last minute winner against West Ham, where it looked, to me, to all intents and purposes, that Cavani was offside. But that was ignored. And I don't think they even I think they looked at it, but they didn't draw the lines, right? They didn't draw the lines for the offside. So that caused the whole thing as well.
That was offside all day.
It was offside, right?
It was offside.
It was offside. And I think
Yeah.
like the fact that United always get these goals and it's fucking infuriating. And it says a lot about their team spirit. Well, fair play, they kept going. A bit of naivety from West Ham. They should have just taken the ball into the corner. Jared Bowen loses it. United on the counter-attack. But United always get these bloody decisions. And I saw an article this week that was from a long time ago, and I'd never seen it before. And it was Richard Scudamore, the head of the Premier League, saying the fact that Man United are underachieving is damaging the brand of the Premier League. And when you have the head of it saying things like that, you do start to think, do they want certain teams to win? Do they want certain things to happen? I don't know. I'm just asking the question. I'm not saying whether it's real or not.
Watch it, Rory. They might be your future employers. Watch it.
I don't think there's that much planning between any big businesses, but I think it does open the door to it. And VAR is just, the inconsistency is really starting to get on my nerves. The fact that Arsenal get a red card for every tackle they do, and certain clubs like Burnley, a player within 10 minutes fouled our players twice. One was a clear foul, the other one was an arm in the face, and he got one yellow card. You're thinking, where is the consistency? It's just nowhere to be seen. The state of officiating in the UK is terrible. And unfortunately, it means that you're never talking about the football. Now, I've been talking for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and I've still not mentioned any bit of football because every weekend it dominates it. And it's the only thing that people talk about. And it's there's so many reasons why the standard of refereeing in the UK is terrible. But they need to start fixing it because it's the richest league in the world. It's the biggest league in the world. And it's got amongst the worst referees. And it's just, I'm sick of it ruining every weekend. But I'm going to try and actually talk about football.
And I apologize if you hear the sound of an airplane in the background. It's my cat aggressively purring on my lap and not even trying to leave. Come on, get down. Go.
You can just see it. There we go. She's gone.
Gone.
So we're going to start at the bottom of the league because Norwich.
Ooh, I did see that, man.
They have killed 2 managers in 2 weeks. They beat Everton, Benitez sacked. They beat Watford, Ranieri sacked. Norwich are straight killers. Josh Sargent arrives, scores 2 beautiful goals. Despite the fact he couldn't hit a ball door before this. That second goal was unbelievable. I loved how happy he looked. He looked genuinely like a lottery winner at one point. But Norwich, they could do it. They could do it. I'm not going to say they will do it, but they could do it. There's a lot of teams down there that are not performing at all. And if you're getting 2 wins in a row, whilst teams like Burnley are kind of dropping points or not winning, I feel like they've kind of got a chance. They've got a few. The teams around them have got 1 or 2 games in hand, but I think Norwich are giving themselves a fighting chance. So that's good to see. I think I said it last pod. All the excitement for the Premier League this year is going to be at the bottom of the table because I think the title race is still over. Elsewhere, Newcastle got a massive win against Leeds, 1-0. A goal from John Joe Shelby. They also definitely should have had a penalty later on in the game as Sam Maximan had his feet swept from under him. But Leeds, again, they're missing Patrick Bamford so much. So much. They've just not got that focal point up front. There were so many times where Rafinha, who is unbelievable, by the way, just walked through the Newcastle defense, put the ball across the box. There's just no one there to run onto it, no one attacking it. Leeds definitely should have scored. I think if they had Bamford, they probably win that game. But for Newcastle, great performance. Kieran Trippier was unbelievable. Kept Harrison quiet the entire game, won every one-on-one, passing out from the back. Just a great performance from him. Maybe he could be a really good signing for Newcastle once they kind of start improving the players around him. Fabian Schär played really well as well. A good performance from Newcastle. I think we're seeing gradual improvement, right? They were 1-0 against Watford, conceded a late equaliser. Here they were 1-0 up. They didn't concede the late equaliser. I feel like we are seeing gradual improvement, and Eddie Howe is a good coach. I'm still going to say they get relegated, but we are seeing gradual improvement there. Elsewhere, again at the bottom of the table, Everton. No new manager bounce for Everton, unfortunately. Duncan Ferguson did apparently go around the pubs of Liverpool buying first rounds for loads of Everton fans to make up for the fact that they have been having a terrible time, which is a great thing to do, but they didn't get 3 points. Their old player, Lucas Digne, in fact, set up Emi Buendia to get the goal of the game, at which point all of the players got bottles thrown at them. It was all very undignified. Again, I saw a thing that fan misbehavior, I think they labeled it in the UK, is up by 70% or something in the last 2 seasons. Like the stadiums are kind of getting a bit bad in the UK again. There was fights in the stadium between Chelsea and Tottenham. We'll get onto that one. Like, it feels like the fans are becoming bad again. A lot of like missiles being thrown. Arsenal fans did it. It's happening at every stadium, like all the time. But Everton genuinely kind of slipping into trouble here. They are being linked with a manager now. His name is Vitor Pereira. He won the double with Porto, but then he got 1860 Munich relegated. He got Fenerbahce to finish 15th. I think his career is massively highs and massive lows. I don't think he's the answer. They've also been linked to Fabio Cannavaro, who has only managed in China. Moshiri having the predictable scattergun approach to their recruitment. Honestly, anybody could take that job. I have no idea who they're going to approach. But the word is that Vitor Pereira has travelled to England to sign the paper. So that will be interesting for Everton fans. Also, rubbing salt into the wounds here, not only did they have their ex-player assist against them, they had Steven Gerrard stood on the touchline as he stuck his tongue out to him and gave him the kind of sucking the thumb thing, definitely winding him up a little bit. So a rough day at Goodison Park for the Everton fans, unfortunately. Before we move on to Serie A, I've got 2 more games I want to cover, and then Arsenal very, very quickly. Southampton Man City, Guardiola gave the weirdest post-match interview. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. What did he say?
He like fully stares down the interviewer. So the interviewer's like, "What did you think of that performance?" And he goes, "That's the best performance of our season by far," and just stares at him. And you're like, "Pep, you're all right." Like, we've talked about the fact he's a weirdo, right?
He's so weird.
Weirdo. He's a fucking
So
weirdo.
weird.
But it seems like every time City don't get a win, he says that the performance was outstanding. It's like when a team is bad, he always says they're incredible. So when they battered Arsenal every week, they were like, "Arsenal, great team, incredible team, best team in the league." And then if we ever beat them, he'd be like, "No, they're awful. They cheat." There's like, he always says the opposite of what he actually thinks. He's a fucking weird guy. But
agreed, 100%.
Watch All or Nothing Man City. You'll see how fucking weird he is. Kyle Walker-Peters scored his first Premier League goal. Beauty of a goal to put Southampton in front. But then Laporte got an equaliser, and Armstrong, again, no consistency in VAR. Definitely should have been sent off for a tackle on Laporte. Left a massive gash down his leg, but Laporte got the equaliser, 1-1. Maybe the title race is back on. Again, in another post-match interview, Guardiola had a go at the interviewer for saying, "Is the title race back on?" He said, "Why is it when we win, you say it's over, and when we don't win, you say it's on?" And the interviewer is genuinely like, "Because that's how it works. If you drop points, then there's more of a title race. If you don't,
this is kind of my job, and I have to ask these questions. Sorry,
come on,
man.
Pep, this is the basics, mate. Like, if you win, you are more points ahead." Like, so it's really weird post-match interview from Pep, I'll be honest.
Good. What about Chelsea-Tottenham, the big one? Conte goes back to his old stomping ground, possibly expecting a win, because we know that Conte does not even envision a defeat, but then kind of comes back home with 0 points. Tell us about it, and then I have a question for you.
I actually genuinely feel sorry for Tottenham here a little bit. Though how their first goal was ruled out is an absolute joke. Harry Kane, there is the slightest of touches on Thiago Silva. I literally think he's just shifting his weight. He happens to touch Thiago Silva's back. Silva just dives forward. Kane just knocks it into the net, and for some reason that was given as a foul. What blew my mind even more was that Roy Keane said it was a foul. I was like, sorry? Someone who went around breaking players' legs is
that
like...
That did not look like a foul at all.
I thought that was so harsh, completely changed the course of the game. But in the second half, Tottenham, like Chelsea, are just so much better. That goal from Ziyech is one of the most beautiful goals I've ever seen.
I haven't actually seen the goal.
Oh, mate, the curve on it is just beautiful. How it looks like it's going over the crossbar and it just dips and it literally goes in right in the corner. Like, could not. There's a photo of Lloris just looking up at it. The ball's right in the corner. Like, it is a beautiful goal. He tried it again 5 minutes later, but didn't quite work out. And then who scores the second? Of course, it was Thiago Silva, the guy who got Tottenham's first goal ruled out. He scored the second, and it was game over. Chelsea was so much better. Lukaku was still terrible. Tottenham are not getting this Conte. They're not getting the Conte vibe yet. It's not. This team isn't taking that identity on. If they get Adama Traore, which is looking quite likely, that could genuinely be a game changer. Conte could make him terrifying. I really think Conte could make him incredible. But Tottenham just look a bit lost, a bit nowhere. So many wing backs and none of them any good.
Answering Adam's question, will Conte last the season before getting fed up with the Spurs team? I disagree. I think that Conte is just going to stay at Tottenham for a hot second because he wants to see things through and he wants to be remembered as one of the greatest managers in football history, and he wants to deliver some sort of trophy Tottenham's way. Sort of trophy.
I completely disagree. I think he's gonna lose patience with Daniel Levy after January when they only sign one player, Adama Traore. Conte's really gonna get wound up, really, really wound up. I think he could leave this summer. I think he's gonna get so fed up with Levy. He was warned. People warned him.
But my question was, Rory, could there be any worse timing for Lukaku to do that move and go back to Chelsea? Lukaku is not about timing, really. Like, first he goes back to Chelsea, then he releases that interview. Right now I hear that the fans are booing him, like people are asking for him to leave. Like, and this is a big thing for Lukaku. Like, if this season, like in England, he was known, he kind of came back to change the reputation that his name had, but it's not really working. And so it's just like, are you going to wait for a Hinter to come knock at your door once again and rescue you from the Premier League? I don't think there are many other clubs that are willing to pay that much of a yearly salary for a guy whose performances have been consistent only at Inter Milan and Everton back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And West Brom, okay, but not in recent times at Man U nor Chelsea.
No, exactly. I think he has massively misjudged how much he improved in Italy. I think he thought he'd become R9 and he hasn't. And I think he genuinely overplayed his hand and thought, I can walk into Stamford Bridge, just deliver him the title and I will be a god. And he's found out that it's not that easy. Chelsea aren't going to tailor all their tactics around him. They do have other options, although the other option they had, who's now doing better, they sold to Roma, and they're playing Lukaku in the exact same way they played Abraham. Really weird way to spend 100 million when you had that striker doing the job already. I feel like he just massively overthought or overestimated how much he'd improved. He's been really anonymous in games. Like against Tottenham again, he completely missed the ball at one point, was calling for the ball when he had 4 defenders around him. And you're like, Rom, come on, your football intelligence isn't that bad. Like you know how to get into space. You know how to make runs. I think he's overthinking things. I don't know. He's obviously a massive psychology player.
He needs that goal streak of 3 games with a goal, and then his confidence will go up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lukaku, I mean, dude, too late. Like, that interview was ridiculous, man. We don't want you back. Not now.
The memes are hilarious.
The thing is that we don't... Yeah, man, the memes are great.
Every time.
The interview after... So are you happy, even this weekend? So are you happy 2-0 against Tottenham? It's just like, look, that last-minute goal from Dzeko was insane. I still back Inter for the title. It's just like, yeah, that's pretty funny.
I saw one today that was like, the guys on the bus, and it was like... international break, someone looked at the wall upset, and then it was like international break Lukaku, and he's like staring out the window.
But should we jump to Serie A, Rory?
Let's do it. Oh, by the way, Arsenal were terrible. We need a striker. Yes, Serie A, let's do it.
Serie A, pretty quickly, it all kicked off on a Friday with Ellis Verona versus Bologna. I did ask the question, can Verona win for the first time back-to-back games this season? The answer is yes. They do so against Bologna after defeating Sassuolo 4-2. Igor Tudor's Giallo Blue are actually doing pretty well. They're in 9th position with 33 points, only 5 points behind Mourinho's Roma, so they might be eyeing the Conference League territory, while Bologna, they are going through a very, very rough patch. Only 3 wins over the last 10 games and 7 defeats. Mihailovic is opting for, I'm gonna install a regime of terror, just called out players in the post-game press conference. I don't think that's going to work. Sinisa, Rory, I saw you were raising your arm.
I want to very quickly say that the Caprari, Simeone, Barak trio is in the top 6 attacking partnerships in Europe. I want to say in the front 3, the amount of goals and chances they're creating, really underrated attacking 3 there at Hellas Verona.
Luca Caprari is having a hell of a season. Let me pull out the stats. In 21 games, he scored 8 times and assisted 5. This guy is having a mad season. He's been around for quite some time, used to play at Sampdoria, and right now this might as well be his breakthrough season once and for all at Verona. 28 years old, not the youngest, very experienced player, but it's really performing this season. On Saturday, we had the 2 nil-nils, one between Genoa and Udinese, which is not surprising, but the other one was between the 2 teams that I told you never stop enchanting us with plenty of goals. The average before this game was 4.83 goals per game. This time is a 0-0 between Lazio and Atalanta, and you will never guess, but Immobile was on his off day, and seeing him play was just like, you see. So look, Immobile has been very vocal recently on social media, just writing down stats, things that he has won. And I get it, because if you were in Immobile's shoes and people are always giving you abuse, sometimes you just kind of remind them, like, these are my numbers. Like, only Lewandowski and Messi have scored more goals than I have since.
But it's a very Kanye thing to do.
I know. But then you see him play when he doesn't score. It's just like, Ciro, you suck, man. We don't know. Look, the question is, we don't know how you did it. Atalanta, they've got a few players out. Quite a few players out. Half the squad is out. And also, one thing I wanted to say about the whole Josip Ilicic situation. This guy is suffering from depression. And my favorite magazine, online magazine about football, it's in Italian, Rivista Contrasti. They always stand out from all the other titles. They wrote a beautiful article calling out the mainstream Italian press for the titles that they were doing, making it seem like it's, at the end of the day, it's not really an illness. It's just like a guy that is just saying he's not feeling good. Look, these titles are extremely annoying and mischieving, and they sound innocent, but if you read through the lines, they just want to, like, make him seem like a wuss, like our friend Gabon Marcotti would say. This guy's suffering from depression, and I don't like Gasperini at all. But Gasperini after the game, they asked him the question, and he said, "I'm very glad you're asking me this question, because this is the last time that anybody dares to speak about Josip Ilicic. He's a great professional. He's a great player. He's always been by our side. We've always helped in the way we can." But he said something that I had never heard any other manager play. Our mind is a mess. And it's difficult for professionals. It's difficult for everybody. Just let the professionals do their job. Right now, we care about Josip as a person, not as a football player. Just leave him alone. And I was just like, somebody needs to speak out, because this is the second time this has happened with Ilicic, and the Italian press has been just bad about it.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Tommy. And I think, honestly, I tweeted it last night. I was so impressed at how Gasperini dealt with it, and how he was like, look, we just want him to be okay. We know he's a great player. We just want him to be better. Like, we know it's through personal troubles, whatever it is. Josip, we hope to see you back soon, because you're a hell of a player. You are a hell of a player, and we really want to see you back. So back stronger, brother, please.
Big time. And then Inter Venezia. Oh, this game was risky, to say the least. Inter kind of flirting with destiny recently. We did so with Empoli. Now we're doing it again with Venezia. Venezia take the lead thanks to Henry. This guy can score bangers, and this goal is very good with headers. And this goal was absolute class. But then again, Inter Milan are just a team that doesn't give up. Nicolo Barella with a beautiful play. He just like, well, there is we have to call out the Venezia defenders for not tracking his run into the box. He was wide open when he tapped the ball in, but he kind of created the play, followed the entire play, stayed there, scored a very heavy goal. And then a lot of talks about Dzeko's goal, whether he should have been disallowed or not. Look, I don't know. I don't think so.
Not for me. I know we're a little bit biased, but not for me.
It's a bit of it's an open elbow, but it doesn't aim at elbowing the guy. He's just like trying to get his balance right to get the ball. Inter Milan, right now, they are 4 points ahead of Napoli in second place with 1 game in hand. It might as well be 7 if we do beat Bologna, and we might be awarded the result 3-0 because Bologna didn't present the papers on time and stuff. I would like to play that game since there has already been quite a lot of controversy about this campionato falsato, so to say. But for the time being, I like the meme that I saw this morning of Eric Cartman from South Park licking Scott Tannerman's tears, and of course Cartman is wearing an Inter jersey, and the AC Milan and Scott Tannerman is wearing the AC Milan jersey. On Sunday, we had another round of fixtures, starting from Cagliari Fiorentina. Vlahovic not playing. It sounds like the guy is very close to a deal with Juventus, and they couldn't
Fuck's sake
that more. Rory, how do you feel about it?
It's the hope that kills you. It's the hope that kills you. Bring on the real wonder kid, Isak from Sociedad. That's who I love now. Vlahovic, sod off to Gebre and win nothing. See if I care.
2 penalties missed in this game. The first one from Cristiano Biraghi, Fiorentina's captain, who was replacing Vlahovic in penalty kick duties. And then João Pedro could have had a brace, but he missed the penalty. Mazzarri was fuming. He said that they had the game.
That was a terrible penalty.
Yeah, he said that they had the game in their hands. He doesn't know what to do anymore. It's just funny to see Mazzarri lose it. But then the other game was Napoli-Salernitana. And look, 4-1. Salernitana picked up a red card in the first half. I just think it's funny that Insigne celebrates in front of the camera after a penalty kick, and he just celebrates and he points at the Napoli badge and saying, "I will forever be here." No, you won't. You're going to fucking Toronto this summer to just be showered in money. So you're not going to forever be there. So why do you say it to the camera? I don't get it.
Well, he did equal Maradona. He's now scored as many goals for Napoli as Maradona did, right?
Yeah, but he will not be there forever. Like, I will be here forever. It means I'm going to retire at this club, and he's clearly not going to do that. So
taking it very literally, Tommy. Taking it very literally.
Spezia, Sampdoria. Gianpaolo is back on the bench for Sampdoria. Their great acclaimed manager loses the first game in charge with 0 shots on target. He said it would be Albin Ekdal's game, and Albin Ekdal was in the headlines for picking up a red card. Welcome back, Gianpaolo. First game in charge of Sampdoria. It's a loss. Then Torino, Sassuolo, 1-1. Goals by Sanabria and Raspadori, who's being called together with Mario Balotelli and Gianluca Scamacca to revive Italy's attack. There is a training camp, a so-called training camp that Italy are undergoing right now for 2 weeks during the international break, and hopefully Mancini can create a new system up front because we desperately need it. Then there was Empoli-Roma, 2-4. Sergio Oliveira, 2 games for Roma, 2 goals. I haven't watched the highlights to this game, but I heard that both Abraham and him, they had a hell of a performance. And finally,
I really loved Mourinho's comments after that game where he said, because they conceded 2 goals in the second half, and Mourinho was like, "Oh, that was just for the entertainment to keep people watching. People would have turned over if we went 5-0 up." I think that's fucking classic Mourinho. Absolutely brilliant. I also quickly want to say, Spezia, Thiago Motta has massively turned that around. It looked like they were going to be almost dead set for relegation, and they're looking a little bit more comfortable now. So you need to tip the hat a little bit to Thiago Motta doing a great job there.
True. They are the teams risking relegation right now are Salernitana, Genoa, and Cagliari in the drop zone. Venezia 1 point above, Sampdoria 2 points above, and Udinese. I don't think they're ever going to drop, but 7 points above. Spezia 8 points above the drop zone.
Right, and they looked like they were gonna. They looked like they were gonna struggle a couple of weeks ago. They really did.
True. And just to say something, we criticize Mourinho quite a lot, but this is Roma's third consecutive win, and they haven't failed to score in a single game for a very, very long time. You would have to go all the way back to, I don't even know when they played Inter Milan, and they lost 3-0 on December 4th. Since then, they've never failed to score in any game. And finally, AC Milan, Juventus, on the day that Zlatan Ibrahimovic says something like, at 41 years old, people are usually sitting down in their home, smoking a cigar and looking at the career they've had. I'm not ready for that. Oops, picks up a muscular injury. It actually looks even a little worse. It's the Achilles tendon. He might be out for quite some time, but AC Milan have got a lot of young players, and he was replaced by Olivier Giroud. Somebody explain to me what the fuck AC Milan are doing with
it's
their
okay, they're going to bring in
strikers.
Aubameyang.
Guys, this game was just... I don't know. The attempts on target were just like passes to the goalkeeper, except one shot by Leao where Chesney had a pretty good save. For the rest, nothing really to say. One thing, Sandro Tonali, after kind of a low-key season last year, he's really taken AC Milan's midfield in his own hands. He's been performing, and for Juventus, I have to say that Rugani had the first game where he looked
unbelievable.
Good. Yeah, in a few years, I would say.
But also, very quickly before we go, this is what worries me about Vlahovic, right? Is Allegri just going to play him as a defensive midfielder? Because there's no way I can see Allegri getting the best out of any striker at the moment. Like, on the planet. I do not see it.
Adam says from the Hopeless Wanderer podcast, I lost 90 minutes of my life with that match. And I watched the first 45, I think, and then I was just like, nah, don't want to lose the rest of my life like that. Juventus at this point are playing not to lose games, and it's just boring to watch. Guys, we've gone a little bit over. Rory, anything else to tell our listeners?
Classic us going over. I think that's it. Arsenal need a new striker. We've got a week. We need a midfielder and a striker. Come on, boys, please. We've got no games, no distractions. Just buy some bloody players.
All the teams sitting down in the same room, including the players. Just like, all right, guys, who are we going to get?
Can we just make a bid?
And of course,
sign some bloody players.
And of course, guys, after the transfer window is over, we are going to do a nice, good old recap to tell you everything that has been going on in the transfer market. For now, it's everything from Vuvuzela's update, Tommy. Just, guys, burn that instrument. And we are living cancel culture. Let's cancel Vuvuzelas forever.
Spoiler alert, guys. I think I know what I'm getting Tommy for his next birthday.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Don't show up to my 30th birthday with a fucking Vuvuzela. But, guys, remember to follow us on Instagram at Anglo-Italian Pod, on Twitter at Italian Anglo Pod, and to follow our sponsor at Sports Club Maps. That's everything from us, and we will talk to you again on Friday. Thank you for listening.
See you later, guys.